requested is because once you get to know these guys, you can embarrass yourself around them. Try things.
For years, country music icon Garth Brooks kept his personal life out of the spotlight. But now, surprising revelations are emerging. After years of silence, the woman long suspected to be his hidden love interest is finally speaking out, and her story could turn everything upside down. What truly went on behind closed doors, and how might this impact Garth's legacy, his marriage, and his loyal fan base? Brace yourself. This is the untold story Garth Brooks hoped would never surface. Before diving in, let's look at Garth Brooks' journey from his rise to fame to how he overcame the many challenges. Rise to fame.
Unanswered prayers. Remember when you're talking to the...
Garth Brooks was born on February 7, 1962, in the city of Tulsa. Born Troil Garth Brooks, he took on Garth Brooks as his stage name, but before the big stages and bright lights, he was just a kid with a big family growing up in a small town. Garth is the youngest child in his family. His father, Troil Raymond Brooks Jr., worked as a draftsman for an oil company, spending his days making detailed drawings for big machines and buildings. His mother, Colleen Carroll, had once been a country singer in the 1950s. She had even made records for Capitol Records and sang on a popular TV show called Ozark Jubilee. Her Irish roots gave her a strong spirit, and her love for music ran deep. Before Garth was born, both of his parents had been married to other people. That meant Garth had 4 older half-brothers and sisters. After Troil and Colleen got married, they had 2 children together, Kelly and Garth. The family eventually settled in Yukon, Oklahoma. Their home was always full of music, laughter, and creativity. Every week, they had talent nights. These weren't just for fun, everyone had to perform something. It could be a song, a funny skit, or anything to entertain the rest of the family. Even when Garth was young, he learned to stand up and perform in front of others. He picked up the guitar and the banjo, and little by little, he learned how to make music. But music wasn't Garth's main focus at first. As a kid, he was all about sports. In high school, he played football, baseball, and ran in track and field events. He was fast and strong, and he worked hard. He got so good at throwing the javelin that he earned a track scholarship to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater. While Garth was in college, he studied advertising, but he didn't just hit the books. At night, he worked as a bouncer at a local bar to earn money. It was at that bar that he found his new interest. Garth formed a band called Santa Fe, and they played music for the college crowd. He quickly learned an important lesson. If you want people to listen, you have to play what they want to hear. So Garth and his band learned all kinds of songs, from country to rock and anything in between. It was his first taste of what it meant to entertain a real audience. Garth finished college in 1984 with a degree in advertising, but music was calling louder than ever. By the next year, shortly after graduating from college, he decided to seriously chase his dream of becoming a musician. While he had grown up surrounded by country music, especially the rich, emotional voice of legends like George Jones, Garth's heart beat to the rhythm of something broader. Thanks to his older siblings, he was introduced to a world of music beyond country. He found himself drawn to rock and folk, where storytelling took center stage. Artists like James Taylor, Dan Fogelberg, and Townes Van Zandt became his heroes. Their lyrics painted vivid pictures, their melodies carried emotion, and young Garth took it all in, quietly shaping his sound. Even though he performed in small Oklahoma clubs and bars, Garth was soaking up everything he could, learning how to blend country tradition with the heart and soul of singer-songwriter storytelling. Then, fate came knocking. Later that same year, an entertainment lawyer from Dallas named Rod Phelps heard about Garth and was curious enough to drive to Oklahoma to see him perform. Garth sang his heart out, and Phelps was blown away. He saw something special in the young singer and offered to help him take the next big step. Not only did Phelps agree to produce Garth's first demo recording, but he also gave him a list of music industry contacts in Nashville, along with a couple of credit cards to cover the trip. Encouraged and excited, Garth packed his guitar and his dreams and headed to Nashville, Tennessee. But the city could be intimidating, and within just 24 hours, Garth found himself overwhelmed and drove right back home to Oklahoma. Still, Rod Phelps didn't give up on him, and neither did Garth. With a little more courage and a lot more determination, he returned to Nashville not long after, ready to give it another shot. This time, he stayed. And slowly, the doors of the music industry began to open. Garth's hard work finally paid off in 1989. That year, he released his first album, simply titled Garth Brooks. It made a splash on the charts, climbing to number 2 on the Billboard Top Country Albums and reaching number 13 on the all-genre Billboard 200. The album had a traditional country sound, with clear influences from George Strait, but Garth's emotional vocals and energetic delivery gave it something extra. The first single, Much Too Young, became a top 10 hit and introduced Garth to country fans everywhere. But the next songs made him a star. If Tomorrow Never Comes became his first #1 hit, followed by Not Counting You, #2, and the powerful ballad The Dance, which soared to #1 and became one of his most beloved songs. Garth has often said that The Dance is his personal favorite out of all the songs he's ever recorded. That same year, Garth hit the road on his first major tour as an opening act for country legend Kenny Rogers. The crowds were huge, and night after night, more people were discovering Garth's unique mix of tradition and energy. Then came 1990, and everything exploded. Garth's second album, No Fences, was a phenomenon. It spent a stunning 23 weeks at #1 on the country album charts and reached #3 on the Billboard 200. It would go on to sell 17 million copies, making it the biggest selling album of Garth's career. No Fences included hit after hit. There was the working class anthem, Friends in Low Places, which fans everywhere sang at the top of their lungs. Then came The Thunder Rolls, with its dark storm of emotion, and Unanswered Prayers, a thoughtful reminder that sometimes not getting what you want is a blessing. By this time, Garth was rewriting the rules of country music. While he honored country traditions, his musical soul still carried the influence of singer-songwriters like James Taylor, so much so that he named his first child after him. He brought heartfelt lyrics, soft rock melodies, and stadium-sized energy to country shows. He wasn't just a singer, he was a performer, and people loved it. Over the years, Garth Brooks has become the only artist ever to have 9 different albums reach diamond status, selling over 10 million copies in the United States alone. That was more than even the Beatles, who held the previous record with 6. Since he first burst onto the music scene in 1989, Garth has worked tirelessly. He put out dozens of albums, including studio records, live performances, special compilations, and holiday music. His songs were everywhere, on the radio, in concerts, and in homes. Altogether, he released 77 singles, each one telling a story, sharing a feeling, or lifting someone's spirit. His voice became part of the American soundtrack. People didn't just listen, they celebrated him. Garth collected awards throughout his career, including Grammy wins and nearly 20 American Music Awards. One of his biggest honors came when he was named the best-selling solo albums artist of the century in the US, a title that showed just how massive his impact had become. But even a star as bright as Garth Brooks had moments where he needed to step away. In 2001, he made a difficult decision. He stepped back from music to spend time with his family. Being a father meant everything to him, and he didn't want to miss the important moments in his children's lives. Though he stopped touring and recording new albums for a while, he didn't disappear completely. During that time, he made a unique deal with Walmart, releasing his music exclusively through their stores and selling millions of albums in the process. He also released a few songs here and there, but stayed mostly out of the spotlight. In 2005, Garth started to ease back into music. He performed at select events and released 2 new collections of songs. By 2009, the itch to perform had returned in full. He launched a special concert series in Las Vegas called Garth at Wynn, where he played on weekends for a few years. That Las Vegas run ended in 2014, but Garth wasn't finished. That same year, he signed a new record deal and officially returned to the road with a major world tour. This time, he brought his wife, country star Trisha Yearwood, along with him. Together, they played show after show, city after city, all the way through 2017. The comeback was a success, and it reminded everyone why Garth had become such a huge name in the first place. In 2019, he began a new chapter with a stadium tour, performing in massive arenas packed with fans. He later returned to Las Vegas once more, launching a new show called Garth Brooks and Plus One, which continued into 2024. Garth's latest album, Time Traveler, came out in November 2023. By then, his place in music history was secure. He has sold over 170 million records around the world, making him one of the most successful artists ever. Billboard even ranked him as the greatest male solo artist of all time on its album charts. In the United States, he sold more albums than any other solo artist, more than Elvis Presley himself. Only the Beatles had sold more overall. Because of his incredible career, Garth was honored in many ways. He was welcomed into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame, and the Musicians Hall of Fame with his longtime band, the G-Men. In 2010, he received one of the most prestigious honors in music, the Gershwin Prize for Popular Song from the Library of Congress. He was the youngest person ever to receive it. Outside of his music career, Garth Brooks explored other interests. In 1998, already a major star in country music, he made an unexpected move. He decided to try his hand at professional baseball. That same year, he teamed up with Major League Baseball to launch the Touch 'Em All Foundation, a charity focused on helping children and families in need. But Garth wasn't content with just supporting the sport through charity. He wanted to step onto the field and play the game himself. He joined the San Diego Padres for spring training in 1998 and returned in 1999. Although Garth tried his best, his performance wasn't strong enough to earn him a spot on the main team. The team offered him a smaller role without a place on the official roster, but Garth chose not to take it. Still determined, he signed with the New York Mets the following year. Unfortunately, things didn't improve. He went up to bat 17 times but didn't get a single hit. Even then, he didn't give up. He tried again, this time with the Kansas City Royals. Finally, during his last spring training game with them, Garth had a special moment. He got his first and only hit, striking the ball off a pitcher named Mike Myers. It was a proud and joyful moment that he had worked hard to reach. Though his baseball career never became long-term, Garth stayed connected to the sport. In 2019, he joined the Pittsburgh Pirates during spring training, not to play this time, but to support and promote his charity work. From a music-loving kid in Oklahoma to a record-breaking global icon, Garth Brooks always chased big dreams. But along with the spotlight came unexpected challenges that fame brought with it. He has as many controversies as he has awards, but what exactly are they? His controversies. From the start, Garth Brooks was more than just a country singer. He became a major figure in American music. His mix of traditional country sounds with modern energy helped him rise to the top quickly. But even for someone so successful, his career has taken some surprising and sometimes confusing turns. One of the most unusual moments came in 1999, when Garth introduced a new musical character named Chris Gaines. It wasn't just a change in style, it was a full transformation. He wore dark clothing and makeup, spoke in a different voice in interviews, and released an album filled with rock and pop songs instead of his usual country hits. The Chris Gaines album was meant to be part of a bigger plan that included a movie where Garth would play the role of this fictional musician. But the movie was never made, and many fans didn't understand the project. The album didn't sell as expected, and Garth received a lot of criticism. It was a rare misstep in a career filled with success. Afterward, Garth stepped away from the spotlight for a while, and the Chris Gaines project was quietly left behind. During his retirement years, Garth didn't completely step away from music. He made a special deal with Walmart to sell his albums, including box sets and collections of his greatest hits. Over time, Garth also shared his thoughts on how the music industry was changing. He was slow to join digital platforms like iTunes and Spotify because he felt artists weren't being paid fairly. To have more control over his music sales, he launched his digital store called Ghost Tunes. However, it didn't attract many users, so eventually he partnered with Amazon Music. Garth explained that this choice was about reaching more fans while still supporting fair treatment for artists. In 2023, Garth opened a new bar and live music venue in downtown Nashville called Friends in Low Places Bar and Honky Tonk. It was named after one of his most famous songs and was designed to be a welcoming spot for fans and musicians alike. During an interview, Garth said the bar would serve all major beer brands, including Bud Light. At the time, the brand was under political scrutiny due to a controversial advertising partnership. Some praised Garth for promoting inclusion, while others criticized the decision. He didn't back down, repeating that the bar was meant to be for everyone, no matter their views or background. Garth Brooks is widely recognized as one of the most successful recording artists ever. Now in his 60s, he remains an influential and sometimes controversial figure. His career has lasted for decades, and he continues to be part of discussions about music, culture, and values. Regardless of whether people agree with his decisions, it's clear that Garth Brooks has made a lasting impact. But beyond his career, has his personal life been just as eventful? Has he been married? Are there any secret relationships? Follow through to find out. His marriage. Before he became a household name, Garth Brooks discovered love in a simpler time. In 1986, well before his rise to country music stardom, he married Sandy Mall, a fellow songwriter who understood the person behind the performer. Their relationship started during an uncertain chapter of life, but together they created a home centered on shared passion for music, mutual support, and family. As Garth's star rose, so did the demands on his time and spirit. The couple welcomed 3 daughters during the height of his career, each birth a bright moment amid the chaos of tours and fame. He was winning awards, selling out arenas, and breaking records. But fame has its gravity, and slowly, it pulled their marriage into silence. The invisible weight of being Garth Brooks quietly destroyed what they had once nurtured. By March 1999, Garth and Sandy had separated, and the next year, they announced plans to divorce. The filing came weeks later, and on December 17, 2001, the marriage officially ended. It was a somber chapter, both deeply personal and painfully public. Garth later admitted the cost of his ambition, the moments missed, the time lost. And in those years of transition, as he stepped away from music to be a more present father, he also began to search for meaning beyond the stage. In time, love returned. On December 10th, 2005, Garth Brooks remarried. His bride was country star and cookbook author HTTPS, a longtime friend and musical collaborator. Their bond had been steady for years, growing from shared songs to shared life. This marriage felt different, mature, grounded, and built on years of mutual respect. Trisha became more than a partner. She was a calming force that surrounded Garth's name. Their home life became a mix of music, laughter, and plenty of good food. Trisha's cookbooks offered a personal look into their everyday world, filled with recipes drawn from their shared routines and favorite meals. Though deeply connected as a couple, Garth and Trisha have not had children together. When it comes to secret affairs, Garth Brooks' personal life remains shrouded in mystery. Despite his decades in the spotlight, no widely confirmed scandals or affairs have ever surfaced, at least none that have been proven. The public mostly knows him through his marriages and his role as a family man, but whispers and rumors have always followed him like shadows in the night. Despite years of speculation and the constant hum of rumors, nothing concrete has ever emerged to confirm any secrets in Garth Brooks' personal life. His image has remained largely untarnished, with his private world kept tightly sealed. Fans and critics have long wondered what the truth is, if there are any lies hidden behind the scenes. However, recently, new claims have surfaced, allegations of a secret affair that threatened to shake the carefully built foundation of Garth's public persona. These revelations have cast a shadow of doubt, raising uncomfortable questions about his character, his integrity, and the image he has upheld for decades. We don't know for sure if the claims are true or not. Right now, we only have parts of the story, and the full truth is still unclear. What we can do is look at what the woman involved has said and try to understand her side of what happened behind closed doors. The Secret Lady. Jane Roe, whose real name hasn't been revealed, first entered the Brooks family circle in 1999. She began working with Trisha Yearwood, the beloved country star and wife of Garth Brooks. Years later, in 2017, Jane started working directly with Garth himself as a makeup artist, helping him get ready for concerts, TV appearances, and other public events. For a long time, everything seemed professional, but behind the scenes, a different story may have been unfolding. By 2019, Jane was struggling financially. Hoping to earn more, she accepted extra work with Garth, knowing that working with such a big star came with better pay. But according to the lawsuit she later filed, that's when things began to go wrong. Jane claims that during one encounter, Garth exposed himself without warning and pressured her into physical contact. In another serious allegation, she says he mistreated her while she was helping him prepare for a televised Grammy tribute. These are extremely serious accusations that describe painful and traumatic experiences. Garth Brooks strongly denies all of it. In his side of the story, revealed through court documents, he says that in 2020, Jane asked him for financial help. Because of their past working relationship and friendship, he agreed to help her. But later, according to Garth, Jane asked for more, this time requesting a steady salary and health insurance. When he said no, Garth claims Jane responded by making false accusations designed to pressure him into giving her money. The case took an even stranger turn, with the claim that Garth allegedly suggested an inappropriate fantasy involving Jane and his wife, Trisha Yearwood. While no details have been confirmed in court, that part of the lawsuit raised eyebrows and added new layers of tension to an already complicated case. In July 2023, Jane sent a formal letter to Garth accusing him of multiple wrongdoings. She even claimed he had talked about hiring someone to hurt her. In the same letter, she said she would stay quiet if he paid her millions of dollars. A second letter with similar demands followed in August. Instead of backing down, Garth fired back with a countersuit. He asked for a full jury trial, claiming the accusations were false and damaging. He's seeking payment for legal costs, emotional distress, and a court declaration that the allegations are untrue. His legal team says Jane is trying to destroy his reputation and force him into silence through fear and lies. Despite the storm, Garth didn't cancel any appearances. He performed a concert in Las Vegas shortly after the news broke, continuing to show up for his fans, even as headlines swirled around him. The legal battle has become national news, drawing strong opinions from all sides. Jane's attorneys say she's standing up for herself and others who've felt powerless. Garth's defenders believe he's the target of a ruthless attack meant to tear down everything he's built. No matter how this ends, this is one of the hardest things Garth Brooks has dealt with in his long career. He's deeply involved in a serious and emotional court case. It might take a while for the full truth to come out, But one thing is certain, this moment will be part of Garth Brooks' life story and will affect how people view him, not just as a singer, but as a person. Still, he has tried to show he's a good man by being involved in charity work. Garth Brooks' impact beyond music. Garth Brooks has also dedicated much of his time and effort to charitable causes, especially those supporting children and disaster relief. Over the years, he has been involved in numerous fundraising efforts to help people affected by natural disasters and other hardships. After Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast in 2005, Garth and his wife, Trisha Yearwood, performed the song "Who'll Stop the Rain" during a televised telethon called Shelter from the Storm to raise money for those impacted by the storm. In 2008, Brooks made history by performing 5 sold-out concerts within just 2 days at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. These concerts raised funds for people affected by the 2007 California wildfires, selling over 85,000 tickets at $40 each. The first concert was also broadcast live on CBS to increase fundraising efforts. Garth and Trisha have supported Habitat for Humanity, helping build homes for families in need. After a major flood hit Nashville in 2010, Garth performed 9 shows in less than a week at the Bridgestone Arena. These concerts sold more than 140,000 tickets and raised $5 million to aid flood victims. In 2013, Brooks joined other country music stars for a sold-out benefit concert to support victims of the Oklahoma tornadoes. This concert featured many famous artists and was held at the Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. In 2015, during his world tour, Garth performed a sold-out show in Barretos, Brazil, to benefit a cancer hospital there. Besides his charity work, Garth Brooks has expressed support for LGBTQ+ rights, a stance that has been part of his public persona for years. In a 1999 interview, he stated that love should be followed regardless of gender, emphasizing acceptance and understanding. His song, "We Shall Be Free," includes the line, "When we're free to love anyone we choose," which many interpret as a message of support for same-sex relationships. This earned him a GLAAD Media Award in 1993. In 2000, Brooks performed alongside openly gay singer George Michael at the Equality Rocks concert, a benefit event for gay rights. Garth's support for the LGBTQ+ community is also connected to his family. His half-sister Betsy Smittle, who is a lesbian and a musician, inspired his views on love and acceptance. Through his charity work and public support of equal rights, Garth Brooks has shown a commitment to using his fame for more than just music, making a positive impact on many lives beyond the stage. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.